Poison is a mechanic in Magic the Gathering, where over the course of a game, you'll start picking up these poison counters, and when you get to 10, it's an instant for you. For a visual aid on how strong this is, let's see a representation of player HP in a regular Commander game. Wow, look at all those red hearts. You got 40 life to start with. That's pretty good. Well, if your opponent is playing a poison deck, this is your effective HP. You only have 10, because once you get 10 poison counters, it's an instant. Exactly. To really hammer my point home here, let's do a little analogy. Let's say getting together with all your friends to play a game of Magic is the equivalent of going on a trip to Disneyland. Oh, the happiest place on earth. Well, your ticket is only good for 40 rides before you have to go home, or it's only good for 10 rides before you have to go home. You see, one of these options lets you stay at Disneyland a lot longer before you have to go cry in the parking lot. Exactly. Which would you rather do, 40 rides or 10 rides? Exactly. You see a lot of videos out there in the ecosphere talking about playing Infect, winning with poison, etc. But you Google anti-poison in Magic the Gathering and you get 0 results. So you're welcome. Here's all the ways to counter poison in Magic the Gathering. Now, before we get started, leave a like and subscribe. I'm an avocado talking about Magic the Gathering. That's pretty freaking cool. Let's hop right in. The first and most official way to get rid of poison counters is leeches. Who would have thought? It's 1 white for a sorcery. Target player loses all poison counters, and it deals damage to them. So basically, leeches is the equivalent of a goth shoddy. They'll suck all the poison out, but you might still die. If you know what I'm saying, fellas. We've all been there, right? You know, we've all been there. All goth shoddies, am I right, fellas? Anyway, leeches, we can throw that card away. Because why would we need it if we don't get poisoned in the first place? That's right. Malira Silvok Outcast says we can't get poison counters. Malira also says creatures your opponents control lose Infect. Now, I know that might sound too good to be true, so we can also do this in a different way, using Vorinclex, Monstrous Raider. He has an ability that lets him do a little bit of magic and turn you from a regular guy into a woman in business, where you now make 50% less poison than a man does working the same job. That's right, there's a little bit of social commentary in this video, that's right. Support women, guys, seriously, the wage gap is undefendable. Anyway, we can combo Vorinclex, the Glass Ceiling, with Malira, the Living Cure. Now, if you would get more poison, you get 1 instead, and Vorinclex will round that down to 0. So now you get hit, you would get poison, psych, you actually get 1 poison, psych, again, you get 0 poison. Isn't that good? Isn't that great? You're welcome. Or, there's another way we can do that. Solemnity, 2 and a white, players can't get counters. So yeah, I like to call this card the reverse Oprah, because it works like this. You get no counters, and you get no counters. And you, I know what you did. I know where they're hidden. Turn yourself in. There's a couple of other ways we can get rid of our counters. Sun Cleanser has a target opponent lose all counters. Price of Betrayal has an opponent lose 5 counters. And Final Act has each opponent lose all counters. You might have noticed a little word in there. Opponent. That's right, we're going to have to get a little creative here. We can use Hive Mind to have our Final Act get copied a bunch of times and hope and pray that one of our opponents will choose the each opponent loses all counters to wipe our slate clean of our poison. And if they don't, well, they suck. I hope all their creatures, planeswalkers, battles, and graveyards get destroyed like 4 times in a row. Please just lose the counters. Thank you. Or Knowledge Pool. We cast our spell, it goes into the Knowledge Pool, and we hope somebody else casts it and targets us. So that means our Sun Cleanser goes over to our homie, he targets us, and we lose our counters. It's you know, poison is 1 versus 3, and so we hope one of the other 2 people will target us, make us lose our poison counters, and we continue on our merry way. Now, if that doesn't work, there's one other way, you could say in air quotes, besides preventing combat damage or damage altogether with stuff like solitary confinement. It's a little complicated, so peep and lock in. Form of the approach of the second son is from Infinity. So it's technically not legal, but it turns you into a card in your library. What does this mean? Well, what we can do is Ugin's Mastery ourself onto the battlefield. We manifest ourself just like any, yoga chick does with our chakra and whatnot. We manifest ourselves as a 2/2 creature face down. Now, according to the face down rules, any counters on it remain on it, which is a little bit of like a weird thing because we're like a 2/2 face down creature, but like we ourselves are that face down creature. So I would think poison counters are on us physically because it's like put a poison counter on a player, but now our player is face down. We're basically in uncharted territory here because this card doesn't really mesh well with the rules as written of Magic. So, take it with a grain of salt. But if it works, we can use stuff like Vampire Hexmage to remove all counters from target permanent. Now that we're on the battlefield, we are a permanent and the poison counters are on us, so it slurps them away. Yeah, same thing with Thief of Blood, but instead of blood, they're stealing all that toxicity away. Very nice. Should have had that in League of Legends. Or Hex Parasite, a repeatable way. So if, they keep putting poison on us, we can use Hex Parasite to consistently keep slurping all that poison away. I don't know. It kind of works. I think it does. In conclusion, there's not a lot, but you can use leeches as a goth shoddy, or we can pickle ourselves, turn ourselves into a pickle and use Thief of Blood or other such effects to slurp all those counters off of us as a permanent. I don't know if that works. Maybe it does. I couldn't find the rules anywhere. Again, we could also just, turn off poison in one of two convoluted ways, which is fun. I guess 3 if you count the Solemnity, or 4 or 5 if you count having our opponents do it for us. So we just got to pray that we get one of these and that we're now immune to poison. So I hope this helps somebody out. That's the end of the video. If you liked it, leave a like. If you subscribe, subscribe. If you have extra money lying around, donate to the children in Palestine using the link in the description down below. And hey, I got a Discord. It's super fun. It's super cool. Give it a join. We're doing all kinds of fun stuff in there. Anyway, I'll see you in the next one. Peace out.